possible. All right, Tyler Perry fans, now kind of a mini break in between, Veronica's House and In His Eyes. As you may or may not have noticed, I've been pumping out videos as quickly as possible because with the show back on the air, that means more theories for me to talk about and more things to break down. But let's just kind of slow things down and talk about a show that as of right now, I don't know when it's coming back on the air, as I'm only speculating that If Loving You Is Wrong might appear on OWN again sometime in the fall after the Haves and the Have-Nots, has wrapped up its season for 2018 towards the end of July or early August. Now, in this video, I actually believe that I talked about this in either a live stream or a video in the past, but it's just a fun idea that I believe Tyler Perry should definitely capitalize on, because crossovers are just one of those things that television shows and movies do nowadays, and it keeps fans intrigued because sometimes the fan base of one particular show might be tempted to watch another program if characters that they're familiar with hop over to it. As a kid, I remember getting goosebumps whenever the Power Rangers from one season would team up with the Power Rangers of a current season. Whenever I saw like Scooby-Doo on another show like Johnny Bravo, and that's just me as a kid. Obviously, the big crossovers now take place on the CW, like the Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, or on the big screen in the MCU with like Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, and the Avengers, and now it's the Guardians of the Galaxy with the Avengers together in Infinity War, and the list goes on, people. But talking about the OWN network as a whole, it wouldn't surprise me, and I really wish Tyler Perry would do this. If he created like his own TPU, like the Tyler Perry universe, like all of his television shows and plays like written to be one cohesive universe, that would be great, because you can have characters from one movie go into like another, or from one TV show to another. We actually have that already in terms of TV shows. Like House of Pain was the main staple, and then from that we had Meet the Browns and arguably Love Thy Neighbor. We all know that they're in the same universe, if you will, because we've had Mr. Brown be on House of Pain, Floyd was on The Pains as a Barber, and then they both went off into their own shows, with Mr. Brown being Meet the Browns and Floyd working at the Love Station in Love Thy Neighbor. Heck, even Curtis and Ella made appearances on that show, and so did Medea, and she was even in several episodes of House of Pain. So that's why I feel that in the future of the Pains, the show that's on now, I think that maybe in like season 2 or beyond, we could definitely have to return to some of these characters whose shows are now off the air. But let's just focus on Have and Have-Nots and If Loving You Is Wrong. I feel like these shows could definitely be paired up due to the fact that they're both dramas on OWN. So in this video, in no particular order, I'm just going to be talking about 5 scenarios or ways that these shows could either cross over. Now, when I say crossover, I'm not really talking about like a huge like 2-night event where it's like, oh, it's going to be like a mini movie, if you will. We're going to have these characters interact with each other. I wanted to keep it small for the sake of simplicity and talk about ways that it could actually make sense as to, okay, we don't have to have every single character from each show meet up at one time. We can like spread out the story to make this world feel a bit smaller, due to the fact that these shows are both shot in the same location in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. So here's my first instance, and you can let me know in the comments if there are any on this list that I don't talk about that you thought of. Number 1. We know Eddie Love, he's pretty much like the Wyatt of the show in terms of being a drug addict. Why not have Eddie, like Lucian, he finally is able to get Eddie, not thrown under the bus, but have Eddie either pay for his crimes or at least get the help that he needs with his obvious addictions. Why not send him to Veronica's rehabilitation clinic on the Haves and the Have-Nots? I feel like that would be a great way to have those two crossover. Can you imagine Eddie in a rehab facility? Maybe this could have happened during season 1 when Wyatt was still in the facility, or maybe it just happens now, where the show is, or, when I say these shows could cross over, keep in mind that this could take place at any time during If Loving You Is Wrong or the Haves and the Have-Nots. It doesn't have to occur where we're at in the series right now. So this could have happened when either Wyatt was still in the clinic himself, or Eddie just going there and, you know, maybe Jeffrey was still like a counselor there, and it got to the point where either Jeffrey or the other counselors couldn't handle Eddie's attitude, and then Veronica herself has to make a grand appearance. And I feel like the audience would just go wild when that happened, to see Eddie dealing with a woman like Veronica who doesn't take anybody's mess. So that's my first instance of characters meeting up. I feel like that would be a great way to introduce, you know, like the Wyatt of If Loving You Is Wrong with the Ice Queen herself. Just fantastic. Plus, these are two characters who just get away with a lot of stuff, but never get what's coming to them. Next up, this is an obvious one. Justin being a cop himself, wouldn't you think there would be some instance where he has to go to like the police station located in the If Loving You Is Wrong, where Lucien and Eddie work? You know, it doesn't have to be a full-on episode where he's in there. He could just go by and drop by some files on a case, or, you know, he's talking with somebody there he knows. Just, again, it could be a cameo appearance. Just have him walking around the office in the scene where we see Lucien talking with the chief or something along those lines. Just a mini cameo that I could definitely see working because he's a cop himself. Next, we have Randall being a psychologist, and very similar to Jeffrey, people who are trained in, well, actually, I believe Jeffrey said that he was like a couple of credits shy of actually getting his degree. So, but even still, he was like working at his mother's facility, so he does have experience. And, you know, Hannah pointed out that, you know, you should definitely get help for your anger issues. And then you look at all the crazy stuff that Randall's doing, he definitely needs some help himself. But being a psychologist, I feel like it would have been very interesting for Randall to be the psychologist for either Amanda while she was still alive. Because remember, I believe that Catherine and Jim set it up so a therapist would come by to see Amanda, and it was one of the dumbest people in the profession that I've ever seen on television, because Amanda was able to play it off as to it wasn't a gun, it was a toy, and everybody, they just won't leave me alone. And then he's like, oh well, there's nothing wrong with her, she just needs to get some sleep, but that's about it. And I'm just like, wow, that guy's a real quack. So why not have Randall make an appearance as experienced professional and try to, you know, see what was up with Amanda. Again, just a clear example of why not just have a person make an appearance in one episode? It would have been great. Like, they could have said like, okay, Amanda's usual therapist isn't available. Is there another expert? And then, hey, they find Randall in the yellow pages or on the internet. And another token to that same crossover, remember that Benny said that he would try to, when he gets the money, get Hannah a therapist because she needs to talk about her experience of being raped when she was younger. Again, Tyler Perry, the table is set. Make this happen. There's just so many ways this could go down. Okay. Let's see. That was number 3. Let's see. Number 4. Remember when Candace extorted the $7.4 million from Jim and was literally bought the tow company, bought the car to give to Hannah through Erica, and she sold it to Benny, you know, when she was trying to get it towed. She also bought the houses. Instead of a person that we only saw in a 1 episode appearance, Marcy is in the real estate business. So why not have Marcy appear in that 1 episode and then be the person walking Candace around to the houses and showing them around, and then she buys them up? Perfect. Yeah, I know that the actress that plays Marcy actually played Darcy back in season 1 of The Haves and the Have-Nots. But to be honest, this was going down in like towards the back half of season 3, so I doubt that a lot of fans would have either made the connection. I don't even think a lot of people would have even cared at that point, because Marcy would have made that one-off appearance with only Candace and nobody else. So I feel like that would have been a great way of getting things done with that. So that was number 4. And let's see here. Number 5, I'm going to put 2 in this category. The first part, Burger Fast being that restaurant. I mean, it goes back to like if Justin went to that branch of the state of Georgia and, you know, he was making a stop, he just could have easily went inside the Burger Fast to make an order, and you could have had Natalie or somebody, or even Joey when he was briefly working there behind the counter. As I said before, just a quick cameo or crossover appearance. It didn't have to go down like when the burger joint was shot up when Julian was trying to get Eddie killed, you know, in a way that he wasn't involved himself. And I feel like Burger Fast should be like the Burger King, if you will, of the Tyler Perry universe. So Why not have a burger fast in Savannah, Georgia? I mean, I doubt we would see the likes of Veronica, Catherine, or Jim in a place like that, but that doesn't mean there can't be one in like Hannah's neck of the woods. So hey. And also the other, I guess you could call this a top 6 list. I don't care. But one more, you have Veronica being an attorney. I mean, yes, she had quote unquote retired for quite some time. And the first time she got into the game again was back in season 1 when she was trying to get Benny out of jail. But I feel like Veronica being an attorney, or even for that matter, you know, Jim and David both being judges, why not have some of the criminals or people that have broken the law and if loving you is wrong appear in their courtrooms? Again, perfect crossover. So I just want to, like, you know, do kind of a mini rapid fire of various scenarios in which have and have not characters and if loving you is wrong characters could have either crossed over in full-on episodes or made cameo appearances in various places from both shows. So with that being said, let me know in the comment section below, do you think there are other ways that these two shows could have merged together? Because I really feel in terms of ratings, it would be great for the OWN network as well as both shows individually and both shows collectively. And I hope that Tyler Perry does watch this video. So I'm going to tweet it to him, but I encourage you, if you have the means, which is just a mouse and your fingers, just to copy and paste this video on Twitter and tag Tyler Perry in it. And see if we can make this happen. I mean, I would not be against seeing it. At this point in both of the show's storylines, it would be a bit of a stretch to put them together. I don't think it's an impossibility, but hey, that's just my 2 cents. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below your thoughts and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already.